Good morning, good evening, wherever you might be. We are so happy you have joined us for today's webinar, Supercharge Your Jobs. We have a lot of great content to cover, so let's do quick introductions so we can hop right in. I'm Hannah Masler, a Product Marketing Manager here at Glassdoor.
And I'm Mallory Brown, and I'm a Content Marketing Manager.
So the plan for today is to cover the overview of the market, tips for attracting talent and helping your job posting stand out, and lastly, how Glassdoor is going to help you reach your ideal candidates. We'll spend some time at the end of the presentation doing a quick demo. As a reminder, the session should last around 20 minutes. We'll be taking questions throughout the webinar, so please feel free to ask away. Without further ado, let's get going.
All right, first things first, we're going to do a quick overview of the labor market. And I'm sure all of you are aware of what's going on today, but for any of you that aren't, spoiler alert, the war for talent is fierce right now.
According to our chief economist, Dr. Andrew Chamberlain, he reported in his monthly jobs report in June that the U.S. economy ran hot, with the nation's unemployment rate ticking down to an 18-year low. As summer unfolds, the U.S. economy today is running at full speed. Employers have added an average of 207,000 jobs per month to payrolls so far this year, up from 182,000 jobs per month last year and 195,000 in 2016. That continued uptick in job creation has pushed the nation's unemployment rate down to 3.8%, with unemployment in some metros areas creaking down to as low as 1.5%, which is just crazy. Today on Glassdoor, there are over 6 million job postings. That's climbed steadily throughout 2018 as employers struggled to fill open roles in fast-growing sectors, including healthcare, e-commerce, tech, and professional services. This demand is finally putting upward pressure on wages, which stagnated throughout much of 2017. In the May jobs report, wages were up 2.7% from a year ago, and we expect to see that continue to accelerate. So taking a look at just one of our industries, technology, you can see that our growth rates are massive, and our growth is going to help bring you candidates. Growth rates across all of our apply starts is up year over year, regardless of what industry. And this growth also isn't limited to a coast. You can see on this map that people across the nation are applying to jobs, more than they ever have before. They're interested in what opportunities lie ahead. And just know that the number one reason why people come to Glassdoor is to search for jobs.
Right, so more people are applying to jobs on Glassdoor than ever before. But I'm sure some of you are wondering, how can you stand out and start actually attracting talent on Glassdoor? So let's get going on that topic. So we like to think about job postings as working in 3 different phases, the first being the attraction phase. So in this phase, companies should be asking themselves, what do we want our first impression to be when candidates first encounter us? The second stage is the engagement phase. So candidates have already learned a little bit about you, and how does that make them feel? What do the messages and the images and the recruiting channels that you're using, how are they presenting your company, and how does that actually make candidates feel about your employer brand? And third, what we in marketing might call conversion, or in recruiting, the convince stage. So we're trying to convince candidates to make the decision to apply. So how can we actually get them over that threshold where they're ready to hit the apply button?
Textio is an augmented writing platform that gives you real-time insights that will statistically improve your response rates. Textio shows you how to change your language to get more qualified and diverse people to apply to your open roles. The first application is Textio Hire, which is used for writing job posts and recruiting emails that are guaranteed to improve hiring. Customers like NASA, CVS, and the NBA see jobs filled 2 to 3 weeks faster on average. So they've done the analysis for you. After looking through thousands upon thousands of job postings, they found those that have the optimal word count are applied to most frequently. An optimal word count is between 300 to 700 words. I know for me personally, I've quickly X'd out of a job post that left me scrolling for days. In my mind, with all of those words, I was left confused about everything that would be within my wheelhouse. Was I applying to run the company? And too little words leaves room for uncertainty. You don't want individuals creating in their minds what the role could be. So remember, optimize your word count. Sentence length and bullets are also extremely important. Have you ever gotten an email from a colleague that is 12 paragraphs and all you wanted was the summary at the top? With many passive candidates these days, they want to see snackable content, and the best way to present this is through bullets and the optimal word count. So remember these tips to help attract candidates.
Okay, so like Hannah said, it's important to make sure that your job descriptions aren't too short or too lengthy, and including bullets is a great way to make that job description concise and clear. But what's the right way to engage job seekers with your job description? Well, let people know what's in it for them. What will they learn? What can they expect from the culture? What types of continued education or growth could they expect? If you have any insight into this, let candidates know what kind of the long-term vision is for them at your company and really frame things from the perspective of how they stand to gain. We will get to where Glassdoor fits into this, but job seekers want to feel those warm fuzzies. They want to feel like the job description is speaking specifically to them in terms they can understand and framing it in a way that will help them envision themselves in the role. So the best way to do this is to answer their most pressing questions and give them the information that they need to make informed decisions. And Textio's data shows that the more effective job postings have a heavier emphasis on you than on the word we. And that really goes back to framing things in a way that makes it relative to the job seeker themselves. There should be a balance, though. Candidates also want to know what your expectations are of them. They want to be able to imagine themselves performing the tasks that are required. But saying we throughout the job description will cause confusion for an applicant about what their specific role would be within a project or on the team or at the company. So make sure you really speak to them.
The last and final stage of a job posting is convince. And two great ways to do this is through avoiding corporate cliches and writing about a growth mindset. Candidates can see through the jargon in your job descriptions. Corporate lingo has a time and a place, and personally, I find myself using holistic and synergy daily. However, do your best to avoid using these terms in the job description. And the last and final tip for convincing a candidate to apply to your job is to exclude anything around their intelligence. Job seekers don't want to have to prove themselves or have their education show their worth. Instead, they want to know what new things they will learn in the role and at your company.
With all these great tips, let's walk it through how Glassdoor can help you. Supercharge your jobs and start finding those candidates.
First and foremost, let's talk about how candidates are searching for jobs today. The approach candidates are taking is that they want to treat that job search like a major decision. They want to research, compare, and contrast different opportunities, hear from employees at the companies they're applying to, and understand really the ins and outs of what that opportunity might be like. So candidates are going to weigh both the job itself and the company when assessing fit. They want the right job that aligns with their skills, but they also want to be at the right company that aligns with their values and their priorities. So candidates will be toggling between content that helps them understand your company and your employer brand and open roles when they're deciding whether or not your company is a good fit for them to apply to.
So something to know is Glassdoor is relevant throughout the entire candidate journey, similar to what Mallory had alluded to or mentioned in the last slide. A job search has many stages, and as you know, the job search isn't linear. You can be looking for a job while debating an offer at the same time from a different company. The best candidates do extensive research both before applying and after they apply for roles. They want to know if your company is one they can imagine themselves working for. The great news, Glassdoor has all the insights they need to make the right decisions for them. Whether candidates are searching for open roles, applying for jobs, preparing for an interview, or reading your company reviews to better understand your culture. Our competitors, like LinkedIn and Indeed, over-index on the discover parts of the process, whereas we provide key resources throughout the whole entire journey. By providing these holistic insights, we can help candidates find jobs in companies they love, which is our mission.
The Glassdoor solution is a holistic, integrated recruiting solution, and it ensures you're able to effectively recruit what we like to call informed candidates or high-quality candidates. So first and foremost, we help you attract and engage job seekers through our job advertising product. And that helps you get in front of candidates who are on our site actively looking for jobs and job seekers who are the best fit for your open positions. Additionally, our employer branding products help you tell your company's story and drive brand visibility on our site so that you're getting in front of the right people who are already interested in your company, and therefore you expand the audience that you're targeting with your job advertising. Lastly, based on our broad data on the candidate experience, we know that candidates, and especially passive ones, need to see your brand multiple times before they apply to a job. And this goes back to the way that consumers behave. Seeing someone's brand and jobs repeatedly over time builds that brand recognition. So we have solutions that can help you drive brand visibility with those passive job seekers in a very targeted way. And that helps you make sure your brand is top of mind so that when those individuals are ready to apply, you are right there in the forefront of their minds.
Such a good point, Mallory. I love it. So here's a quick snapshot of all the products Mallory just mentioned. You have the enhanced profile, which we'll go in detail in the next slide. This is where you can tell your company's story. Next is job advertising, which will help you recruit the right people. So this is going to bring your jobs to the forefront. It's also going to have a little bit more detail than those jobs that are not sponsored, like we like to say. Display advertising. You want your brand to be top of mind for candidates, so get in front of them often and target those individuals if you want to see your company or your roles. And then analytics, we have a slew of really powerful insights within our Employer Center.
So to give you a little more detail on our enhanced profile product, which is really about employer branding and driving more high-quality hires, an enhanced profile can help you tell your company's story and drive visibility to your brand on our site so that you're getting in front of candidates who are already researching your company and expanding the audience that you're targeting with your job advertising. On your profile, you can amplify your brand with photos and videos, really humanize what candidates see. You can centralize your open positions all in one place under the Jobs tab. You can also eliminate competitor ads, so there's no distractions that would lure candidates away from your brand. You can also build out a Why Work For Us section with customizable tabs where you can really showcase anything you want and anything you think makes your company stand out, whether those are specific hiring initiatives you have, your culture and values, the products you build, opportunities for growth. Whatever those things are, you can build out an entire section of your profile to highlight those wonderful things. You can also pull in your social media feed, as well as feature a review of your choice. And you can actually feature an employee review as well as an interview review. And with an enhanced profile, the other fantastic thing is that you get access to an incredible suite of analytics that live on the back end of your profile. And those all live in what we call the Glassdoor Employer Center.
So now let's say you take the tips from Textio. You craft the perfect job description. Now how do you actually get the word out? Did you know that the number one reason that visitors come to Glassdoor profile is to search for jobs? By using Glassdoor job ads, we're going to extend the reach through email alerts to job seekers via our web app, and also on competitor profiles of your choice, as long as they're not currently Glassdoor clients. Our internal data shows that sponsored jobs receive 11 times more apply starts than non-sponsored jobs. So through all these different channels, we're going to make sure that we amplify all of your job postings. So as long as they're crafted correctly via the ways we just shared earlier, we're going to make sure that they're amplified and that they're getting in front of the right candidates. And within a sponsored job, there's going to be a couple things I want to highlight. As we learned from the last slide, sponsored jobs receive 11 times more apply starts than non-sponsored jobs. So let's take a look at what exactly is included as part of a sponsored job. Section A, sponsored jobs, receive higher placement for the job title. Candidates don't have to sift through pages to find your open role buried among other jobs and company postings. So they're not going to have to go to page 6 to find this job posting. B, we'll highlight popular new roles with badges to further bring attention to your open roles. C, candidates want to see salary data. Candidates want to know what they should expect up front. Nothing is more disappointing to a job seeker or a recruiter to go through the recruiting process and receive an offer only to learn that the expectations of reality were not even remotely close for both the job seeker as well as the recruiter. Within Glassdoor, you can update to the correct salary range for your job postings, so having confidence that what is being presented to candidates is accurate. D, easy apply. We make it simple and fast for candidates to submit their pre-built profile with a resume to your job postings. Simplifying the process for them means more job applications and candidates for you. And E, branded content, share what makes your company unique and why someone should work for you. You can share videos and pictures about what to expect for the role. Mallory mentioned that this is available on the profile, but note that this is also going to be included within every single job posting that you do that's sponsored. People are going to see those 5 custom tabs to really understand what makes your company stand out. A recent study compared non-sponsored and sponsored jobs with employer-branded content that were ranked or located in the same place within search results. We found that candidates are twice as likely to apply when a job includes employer-branded content. This means that sponsoring your jobs increases visibility of your open roles, and branding your jobs drives applicants at over 2 times the rate. So make sure you sponsor your jobs, and also make sure you include that branded content that's really going to engage candidates and job seekers to understand why working at your company is special.
So if some of you are wondering, well, I sponsor my jobs on Indeed or LinkedIn, what's the difference? Why would I want to do this on Glassdoor? We actually have some interesting data from ComScore, which is a third party, and they found that basically around 40% of job seekers do not visit LinkedIn or Indeed. So it is a differentiated, unique audience that you'll be reaching here on Glassdoor. And these are informed candidates, again, on Glassdoor. They're referencing all sorts of rich insights and reviews alongside your jobs and making super informed decisions, which goes back to the fact that job seekers on Glassdoor are more likely to be hired. So if you're not already partnering with Glassdoor and sponsoring your jobs here, these job seekers might not be aware of your jobs. So definitely consider that as part of your recruiting strategy.
Thank you all so much for tuning in to today's webinar. In summary, an optimal job post length matters. Between 300 and 700 words is ideal. Also, bullets are always preferred over long paragraphs. Speak to the reader on their terms. Avoid buzzwords or corporate cliches. I know we all have them in the workplace. However, do not include those words or terminology within a job post. Showcase your culture through a Glassdoor enhanced profile and complete that Why Work For Us section. Drive awareness through Glassdoor's sponsored jobs, which will help promote overall visibility for these open roles. State the salary range. Candidates want to know upfront what they should expect as far as pay. And lastly, remember that Glassdoor has a unique audience that differs from both LinkedIn as well as Indeed. All right, so let's do a quick demo of sponsored jobs on Glassdoor and see how they differ from our unsponsored jobs. All right, you guys, so here I am within Glassdoor, and I typed in Product Marketing Manager under the Jobs tab to begin my search. Over on the left-hand side is where my search results will appear. These titles match what I typed in. So if I scroll down just a little bit, the role Senior Product Marketing Manager stuck out to me within Open Door. As you can see, I'm on the very first tab. So remember, our sponsored jobs are going to receive better positioning. We're going to promote them, so they're going to be higher in the search results overall. You're not going to have to scroll to page 5 to find the job. So over here, you can see that within the job, the Why Work For Us section. This is brought in as long as you have that enhanced profile. So this is where you can build out your custom tabs, share why you're special or unique. So know that the enhanced profile is very important to our sponsored jobs, and that goes back to the candidates are 2 times more likely to apply when it features employer-branded content. So build out your Why Work For Us section within your enhanced profile to have it pulled into your jobs. You can also read all about the job. You can read about the company, check out those ratings as well as the reviews. So this is what the job search experience looks like from the candidate as well as from the employer side when you guys actually do start posting those roles. So let's say I go and I scroll to page number 5 like I've done here, and I see the Product Marketing Manager role for Square. So a couple of the differences, since I do not have that enhanced profile, it's not going to bring anything from the Why Work For Us section. You can still read all about the job. You can still check out the ratings, reviews, check out the company. So just a little bit of difference between that featured employer-branded content between those 2 roles. So let's say I click into the role and I want to learn a little bit more about Square. So if you visit Square's profile, you'll see that the real estate is not owned by Square. It's a bunch of other companies that are, potentially taking those candidates away from Square. SoundHound is also promoting, using our display advertising, some open roles. The jobs you may like, these are also all sponsored jobs. So as long as you're sponsoring your jobs on Glassdoor, it's going to follow those candidates around. That Senior Product Marketing Manager role I had previously clicked on is right there. So following me, reminding me, you don't want to work at Square, you want to work at Open Door. So that's another benefit of promoting and sponsoring your roles. So as you can see, there's also just display ads for other companies and also companies to explore. So as long as they have their select profile, they can target other companies where they want to attract talent or be seen. So if I was to take a look at Glassdoor to show you guys what in turn it looks like from someone who owns their whole entire profile, Glassdoor, we own the whole real estate. So no longer will you see other companies promoting their open roles or companies to explore. It will solely be owned by your organization. So the jobs will just be open roles at Glassdoor. You can follow Glassdoor, you can connect with Glassdoor, you can get to know why you should work for Glassdoor. So you can see the difference between those 2 profiles. So just to kind of summarize, the Glassdoor solution, as we talked about, it consists of 3 components. The first one, which we want to say is, attracting or engaging with informed candidates. So you can do that through our sponsored roles. So we're going to boost that visibility. We're going to send out email alerts. We're going to follow those candidates around to different profiles to make sure that those roles are amplified. The second is to tell your company's story. So doing that through your enhanced profile, making sure that you own the real estate on your profile. So not only are you sharing why you're unique and special, you're also sharing your open roles. And last, overall driving brand visibility, that goes back into all of the different display advertising you can do. So we can do a job spotlight featuring specific roles, as well as just overall brand ads. So that is a little bit about the Glassdoor solution, how these 3 products will work together to supercharge your jobs to help you find the right candidates. Thank you so much. So that concludes our webinar today, Supercharge Your Jobs. I hope you guys all enjoyed this session. Thank you so much for attending.